Okay, you've made it to our essential skills. First and foremost, all of this information can be found at www.nkinfinity.com. Want to find us? Just go on the web, type in nkinfinity.com. There it is. There I am in all my baldness. Click on review. And then down here at the bottom, just click on Regents Topic Reviews. Go down here, and here they are. We're going to be doing all of these. I'm hoping to do all of these before we get done. Now, check it out. I've got 28 spiral reviews. All of these contain about 6 to 8 questions, all geared towards the Algebra 2 Common Core. All right, I said videos coming soon. I can get rid of that because I've got all the videos done. I've also got 5 practice sets up here. If you don't have these flashcards, get a hold of these flashcards, okay? These flashcards are phenomenal, okay? And they will help you out drastically. You can either do them on your phone or you can do them on the computer. Either way. So today I'm going to talk to you about factoring. Now, I don't factor the way most people factor, I think. I like the guess and check method. Is the only way I teach, is the only way I will teach. Because I think it's important. So, the 3 different types, for the most part, that you're going to have to deal with is a binomial, 2 terms, a trinomial, 3 terms, or a polynomial, 4 terms. I want you to notice what the first step always is. Is their GCF? Now, I like to say, is your x squared or highest degree term positive? Once that's positive, then you can start talking about whether or not you want to start taking out a GCF. Okay? So, after that, if it's a binomial, after you've taken out the GCF, look for the difference of 2 squares. I do not teach this method. I don't agree with it. I just use guess and check. And I'm going to show you how to cheat on your calculator as well, and then factor by grouping. So, we will be using the TI Inspire quite a bit. Let me get that up. And while that's booting up, I'll take it this time to tell you about how awesome Dunkin' Donuts coffee is. It's amazing. All right. So you have to, the other thing you have to understand is this is factoring. This is not solving. It says factor completely. So you should not have x equals at the end. We're just factoring. I don't like the fact that this is x squared. This is negative. Oh, wait, hold on. That's not even my highest degree. This is my highest degree right here. I don't like the fact that this is my highest degree and it's negative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out a negative x. That's my highest GCF. If I take out a negative x, I'm left with, and this one's going to come first, x squared. Then this one's going to come plus x minus 6. Now, why is it that? Everything got its sign changed because I took out a negative. It's very important that you do that. Get it in also. It's also got to be in standard form. If you don't like the form this is written in, write it in this way. Negative x squared cubed minus x squared plus 6. Now take out that negative x. This is what we end up with. Now, teachers love this, and when this is a 5. I don't know, that 6 at the end messes with kids a lot. I always say what multiplies to negative, it's got to be plus and minus, and they got to add up to negative 1, or positive 1. So that would be positive 3 and negative 2. So that would be factored correctly. Now, having said that, I can come over to my calculator and do that as well. Although this one's going to be kind of tricky. Let's see how we get. Menu. It's for you. You got to go into graph mode. Menu. That's not big enough for you. So maybe a little bit too big, but that's all right. We'll get that. There we go. Menu 331 will be what you click. I have to do something slightly different. Menu 3. It's polytools and find the roots of a polynomial. This is a 3rd degree polynomial. So we click OK. The cube term was negative 1. The squared term was negative 1. The x term was 6. And there was no constant, but you still have to put in there something, 0. So press enter, enter. Those are your roots, 0, negative 3, and 2. So notice if I had this, it would give me negative 2, negative 3, right? There's my parentheses. X equals 2. There's my parentheses. And then here is my 0, x equals 0. Now, we don't want these because it didn't say to solve them, but those would tell me what those parentheses are. All right, let's talk about 2. You should be trying these on your own. You should try these on your own and see how you do. I'm going to take out a GCF of 2x squared. And that leaves me with 6x squared. Oops, I forgot. As soon as you take a GCF, it's still a trinomial. Plus 5x, minus 6. I told you, we love 6. 6 and 5 messes kids up all day long. You think, oh, 2 and 3, oh, 2 and 3, oh, 2 and 3. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Oh, wait, we got a 6 at the beginning too. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a pain in the neck. So I'm going to do it here, and then I'm going to show you how to use your calculator. I'm going to guess it's probably 3x and 2x. I'm guessing and checking. I still think you should be able to do this. And I can't put a 3 here because this would have a, if I put a 3 here, that would be a GCF, and I can't put a 2 over here. So I'm going to guess this is 2 and this is 3. Let's see. That would be 9 and 4. That would make 5. Perfect. So I need a positive, so this is positive and this is negative. Now, if I was solving these, my answers here would be x equals 0, x equals positive 2/3, and x equals negative 3/2 if I was solving them. Now, if I go over to my calculator, and I use my calculator, and I go Menu, Algebra, Poly Tools, and Solve a System, and this is a 4th degree polynomial, correct? Actually, I don't really even care about this. I took out the GCF. I'm just going to put this in my calculator. I'm just going to put this, because I already know that that's a GCF. There's no reason to have to go through all of that. So I'm going to put that in there, and press OK. And that was 6, 5, and negative 6. And my answers are negative 3/2 and 2/3. Negative 3/2 and 2/3. Now, how do you work backwards? Well, this 2 really came from division. I really had 2x equals negative 3. And that negative 3 really came back from here. That made it 2x plus 3. Remember, this is what you're solving. 2x plus 3 equals 0. So the 3 goes in front, and the negative 2 comes back. Okay, but don't put these there, because if you put these there, you're wrong when it just says factor. Let's keep going. I thought I could just move up, but apparently I'm having difficulties. All right. So this one, you'll notice I can't take anything out, but I see a whole bunch of perfect squares. So I'm going to go 2a and 2a. I can't go minus 3 and plus 3 because that would be, no, that's not going to work. That didn't work. How about 4a and a? Three and 3. Let's see if that works. That's 12 and 3. 12 and 3 I can make 9 with. Let's see, I want it to be positive 9, so the 12 has to be positive and this has to be negative. Now, once again, let's just check out using a calculator. And by the way, once you have all this up, you can just keep, well, I can just do this. I can do it this way, or I can just go back into Menu, Algebra, Poly Tools, and solve a system of equations, still positive. And what were my numbers? 4, 9, and negative 9. 4, 9, and negative 9. Click OK. Click Enter. So one of my answers was x equals 3, right? Or a equals negative 3. Well, that means it came from a negative 3. And then that would help me out with the other one, 3/4. 3/4. Remember, x equals 3/4. So this 4 came in front here, x, right? 4a, and then opposite sign. But don't put these. All right, let's look for, what is this garbage? Wow, this one's trying to decide. Just, I got, oh, a little metallic on my phone. Turn that down. All right, so I can't take out a GCF, but I'm looking for the difference of perfect squares, and I believe I have this. 4 is a perfect square, a squared is a perfect square, b to the 4th is a perfect square. As long as it's even, it's a perfect square. So I'm going to go right into two sets of parentheses. 2ab and 2ab. That makes 4a squared b squared. And then 5x cubed y squared, 5x cubed y squared. Because isn't x cubed times x cubed make x to the 6th? And y squared times y squared makes y to the 4th? One's plus, one's minus. Why can I not do this? I don't understand why I'm not being able to move up and down. This drives me crazy. Cray. All right, no GCF here. I'm just going to factor 3x and x. I know that I can't put a 3 or a 6 here. Because that, I can't put a 3 or a 6 in here because that would mean there would be a GCF. Right? If I put a 3 here, don't these two have a GCF of 3? Or if I put a 6 here, don't these two have a GCF of 3? So I don't want to put the 3 or 6 there. And my guess is it's 3 and 4, but I'm not sure. So I'll put 3 and 4. That's 9 and 4. 9 and 4, I can make 5. I want to make it negative 5, so the 9 is negative and the 4 is positive. Well, this kind of problem, I'm going to try to blow these up. I thought about this afterwards. I can blow these up, make them look better. This kind of problem always messes with kids. Whenever you have like two different letters in it, it's just so stressful. So the first thing we're going to do is notice that there's a GCF of 2. So we're going to take that out. 4x squared, that's an interesting one. Minus 4xy minus, what's this, 3y squared. Now, I always try to tell my kids, pretend like you can't see this y. Pretend like that thing doesn't exist. And then deal with it that way. 2. So probably 2x and 2x. And then what multiplies to negative 3? 3 and 1. And now I need it to be negative 4. So this is negative, this would be 6. And this would be 2. So if I make this negative 6 and positive 1. Now the problem is you can't ignore the fact that there was in fact a y there. You got to put that y back in, right? So instead of it just being 3, it's 3y and 1y. And notice, doesn't this multiply to negative 3y squared? And that would be negative, that'd be negative 6xy and positive 2xy. So there you go. It's like my fingers aren't working on here. Man, that's weird. Oh. Man. Touch on, touch off. Box. I don't know. Weird. All right, let's take a look. Again, we got multiple letters. So let's pretend like the A doesn't exist. Oh, wait, that's the GCF, A. I could just take an A out. So I'm taking A out, and I'm left with 10x squared minus 23x minus 5. My guess is this is going to be 5x and 2x. And 5 and 1 would make 5. I can't put the 5 here, so I'm going to have to put a 1 there and a 5 here. Let's see. That's 25 and 2. That makes 23. Just make sure it's negative 25 and positive 2. I don't know what's going on. There's lots of buttons here. Wish I knew what all these buttons meant. Touch off, touch on, whatever. I just want to go over here. So, now this one's going to be an interesting one. There's no GCF, so I go right into the difference of two perfect squares. To multiply to x to the 8th, that's x to the 4th. And x to the 4th, plus 4, and minus 4. Now, there's nothing I can do with this one. But this one over here is the difference of perfect squares again. That's x squared and x squared. What multiplies to negative 4? Positive 2 and negative 2. Now they're not difference of perfect squares anymore, so that's all there is to that one. All right, again, let's pretend like that. Let's pretend like that y doesn't exist that's right there. Let's just get rid of it. Don't see it, can't see you. So there's no GCF. So I'm going to start out with 3x and x. Signs are both going to be negative because this is positive. So negative times negative is positive. So probably 3 and 2. Nope. How about 6 and 1? 18 and 1? No, that's not going to do it. Oh, this is 3x and 2x. Let's try that again. Let's go 3 and 2. 9 and 4 make, there it is, right there. Done. I do not know why that's not working. It's driving me nuts. Difference of two squares right there. Multiplies to 16x squared, 4x and 4x plus 9 minus 9, excuse me, plus 3 and minus 3. You don't want to make that dumb mistake. 3 times 3 is 9. Oh my goodness, look what I did up here again. I almost did it. Do you remember those numbers I took, the letters I took out? The y's? I got to put those back in. I can't just ignore those. So this has to be 2y and 3y. I almost forgot. So if you take them out, don't forget to put them back in. All right, moving on. All right, I'm going to pretend like I'm not going to do the taking the letters out because apparently I'm having an issue putting them back in. So I'm going to go a to the 4th, excuse me, a squared, and a squared. Those make a to the 4th. What's going to make positive? Positive here just means the signs are going to be the same, and because this is negative, they're both going to be negative. And to multiply to 4 is either going to be 2 and 2 or 4 and 1. I'm going to go with 4 and 1. Because 4a, that's going to be it. So, but it's got to be 1b squared and 4b squared. And there you go. That's it. That's all she wrote. All right, so now what we have is a forenomial. Now, let's say day of the test, you just can't do this. Your brain is shot, you just don't know what to do. Well, come down here, and we're going to go menu. Let's clean this up. Menu, algebra, polytools, menu 331 on your calculator. It is a third degree polynomial. Click OK. And now you got to put all these numbers in. 1, 3, negative 4. 1, 3, negative 4, negative 12. And there's your answers. Negative 3, negative 2, 2. Negative 3, negative 2, and 2. Well, this one came from x plus 3. This one came from x plus 2. And this one came from x minus 2. So, worst things to worst, I mean, you know where the answers are leading to. Now let's see if we can get there. Easy. These are really simple, actually. What you're going to do is just group the first two and take out a GCF, x squared. And you're left with x plus 3. Always copy over this value, negative. And what can you take out of these two? Oh, 4. And I'm left with x plus 3. These things must match in order for this to work. If those don't match, you can't do it this way. All right, so they do match. So those are now your GCF. What you're going to do is take this out and this out. And what are you left with? Well, if I take this out, I'm left x plus 3. If I take it out, I'm left with x squared minus 4. Oh, well, this is just x plus 3, and this is x plus 2, x minus 2. That's it. You don't have to solve it. Now, we did get the answers of 3, negative 2, and 2, but you don't have to solve it. We got another forenomial. Is there a GCF? Ax, a squared. Nope. They all don't have an x. So I can't take a 2 out. So I'm going to group these first two. And I can only take out a 1. I'm left with 2a plus x. Copy over the sign minus, group these two. In these two, I can take out an x. I can take out an ax. And I'm left with 2a minus plus x. Now again, these have to match, and they do. So my first set of parentheses is 2a plus x. And my second set of parentheses is 1 minus ax. This one bothers people because you don't like the F word, but there is a fraction right there, and it is a perfect square. So this is really just the difference of perfect squares. This is 3x plus 2/3, 3x minus 2/3. That's it, kids. Believe it or not, that's all it is. Last two problems. All right, what can I take out of these two? I can take out a 3a, and I'm left with 2a minus b. Copy over the minus, and I can take out a c, and I'm left with 2a minus b. The parentheses match, so that's my first set of parentheses, 2a minus b. And my second set is 3a minus c. So this is kind of like x to the fourth minus 1. If you had this, if I just ignored this and pretended that was x to the fourth, here's what I would factor it to. So what I'm going to say is let x, you know what, let's not use x. Let's use a. Let's let capital A equal x plus y. This is called factor by, I don't know what they call it. Substitution factoring, I don't know. There's a name for it. So a to the fourth, right? So we're going to do a squared plus 1, a squared minus 1. Okay, but this a squared minus 1 can be factored. So this is a squared plus 1, a plus 1, a minus 1. So now let's sub back in our x plus y. So this is x plus y squared plus 1. This is x plus y plus 1. And this is x plus y minus 1. Yeah, I know, that's kind of tricky. That's it. That's the end of that factoring, kids. I hope you enjoyed. Catch y'all on the flip side. Goodbye.